Hello, my name is Amélie Pelletier, and today with this video, I will share with you the knowledge I gained by attending advanced information technology classes. In fact, I will precisely talk to you about some of the key features of Word 2016, which I learned and perfected with the use of the Advanced Microsoft Office 365 Office 2016 book. I will focus on a specific module today from the book, precisely the 10th module of Word, which is called Creating a Template for an Online Form. Furthermore, I will also apply this theory to a real job in order to contemplate how the theoretical usage of Word can apply to reality. For the sake of this project, I decided to assume the role of a wedding planner who has her own company, which is a startup called Happily Ever After. But before jumping into the main subject of the video, I figured that I should tell you a few words on the wedding consultant profession, as this will help explain the document that I will create for you guys today. In fact, as it is stipulated on study.com's website, a wedding consultant assists the bride and groom with everything from a timeline and budget to the choice of flowers, wedding location, musicians, caterers, even the cut of the groom's tuxedo. The wedding consultant is not only responsible for making sure all the details of the big day play out smoothly, but also for absorbing the stress of planning so that the bride and groom may more fully enjoy the experience of getting married. What I want to show you today is how to create an online survey while using Word, which will resemble this. This survey could be used by the wedding consultant after a wedding in order to get feedback from clients and then improve the services that the company offers. When you see the document like this, it might seem a little bit too complicated, but it really is not, so don't worry, I'm going to help you with every step in just a few minutes. In fact, now I'm going to close this document and we are going to start again together. Now the first thing that you want to do when you are on your main screen is open Word, which we're going to do by clicking this icon here. So now that we have our Word open, we're going to create a blank document. Next, what we'll do is click on File and save the document as a template. What we'll do is browse through our computer to our desired location. Mine will be PwC Business Program. I'm going to call this document Happily Ever After Survey to Fill. And then here, save as type, we will look through it and use Word template. And click save. Now that your document is saved as a template, we will change a little bit the paper layout. As you can see, this is a regular Word document, but now what we want to create is a survey, which is a whole lot smaller. So what we'll do is go into layout and then page setup and we'll change the paper size. Go more paper size, and then we keep the width and we're going to change the height to 4. Click OK. Now we want to change the margins because we don't want to only fill this section of the document, we want to be able to fill up until the edges. So we're going to margin and custom margins. Now we are going to change the margins. We're going to change the top measurement for 0.25, then the left for 0.5, same goes to the right, and for the bottom we will pick 0 and then click OK. Now that we have the right paper size, we will choose a theme for our survey. So we're going to Design, Themes, and today we're going to pick Madison. Next, something that they show you in the book is how to add a page color to make your survey a little bit more appealing. But the thing is, once your customer will open it as a document to fill it up, they won't see the color. But what I found is that if you use a watermark, then it will stay even if your client opens it as a document instead of as a template. So you'll click into watermark and custom watermark. Here you'll use the picture watermark. Select the picture, and I'm going to select the picture from one of the files that I have on my computer. gonna use this picture. I don't want it to be washed out because it's gonna be really too pale. And the scale that I'm gonna use is 100%. We're gonna apply it first to see how it looks. And once we are pretty content with how it looks, we're gonna click close. Now we have to enter some basic information such as the company name, the company's tagline, the title of the survey, as well as a little bit of instruction at the beginning saying, please can you fill out this form and send back the answer to our email address. To make sure that this video won't be too long, I'm gonna type in this information off screen. Now that we've entered the basic information, this is what our form should look like once we formatted the text. So for the company name, I used the Vivaldi font 32 and bold. And then for the company's tagline, Arial 11 bold. For the color, I went in and choose one of the theme colors, which is green, accent to darker 50%. Then for the title, I still use Arial body, but I used the 14 size. Also, I bolded the text. Same goes for the instruction. I use Arial body, but in the 11 size, I've bolded. But now, as you can see, the link for the email address is a little bit pale, and I don't really appreciate it like this. So what we're gonna do is going into design here, colors, and we're gonna customize our colors. And we're gonna change the color for the hyperlink. We want it to be a lot more dark. So I've chosen this color. And then I'm going to insert the table since it's a lot easier to fill out the form like this. And we're gonna pick 6 because we're gonna have 5 questions, but then one that's gonna need 2 lines. Now with our table still selected, we're gonna go into Table Tools, Layout if it's not already done. And we're gonna select the second row and we're gonna merge the cells. You're gonna repeat the step for all of the other rows below. Now your form should look like this. But what we want is for the 4th row to be divided into 3 sections. So where we're gonna go is into Table Tools, Layout, Split Cells, and we're gonna choose 3 columns. After entering the cell titles, we might be interested into changing the formatting of what we wrote because we really want the survey to be elegant and portray the services that Happily Ever After can offer. So what we're gonna do is select the first name and we're gonna change it to Lucia and Writing. And we're gonna repeat this step for all of the other titles. This is how your form should look like for now. Now what we'll add is the little box that you saw on the final product. To do so, you'll need the developer tab right here. If you don't have it, you can simply go into File, Options, go into the Customize ribbon, and then you'll check the developer and click OK. And you'll have the developer tab that will appear right here. So now what we're gonna do is put our insertion point right after the column, press the spacebar, and now we're gonna add the plain text content control by clicking on it. Then what we'll do is click the design mode. This will allow us to change the text. Click here and type your first name dot. Then we're going to click again the design mode. After that, we'll click on the property and we're going to give it a title and a tag. We're going to name it first name, same as the tag, first name. All we'll do is change the color because it's really going to be too light. I'm going to take it dark gray. Use a style to format. We don't really need one, so we're just going to leave it checked. But if you checked it, then you could look at the different style and pick one. And something that's really important is the locking part of the content control. You need to lock it to make sure that it cannot be deleted. As you can see, I've already entered the plain text content control for the last name. Did exactly the same steps as previously for the first name. And now for when was your wedding, it's going to be a little bit different because we want our clients to be able to put in dates from a calendar. So what we're going to do is put our insertion point right after, then press the space bar and use the date picker content control. We want the instruction to say click here and select arrow to pick your date. That's it, and now use the properties. My computer is in French, so automatically it goes into French Canada for the locale. But what we're going to do is choose the English. And we're going to pick this format. Click OK, and now we'll have it. Now we're on to another different type of control, which is going to be the text box. So we're going to put our insertion point into the first column, and we're going to use the checkbox content control. Here, you're going to press your right arrow twice, and then you're going to press the space bar to be able to type in the information next to it to make sure that your clients know what they are checking off. After all the packages names have been entered as well as the checkboxes, we can go on to the next question, which is how would you rate your experience with Happily Ever After? And we want the clients to be able to choose from a drop-down menu. So what we'll do is use the drop-down list content control. We'll click on it, and same thing, we'll still go into design mode and type our instruction, which I'm going to do later off screen, and we're just going to go into properties together. So I'm going to use rating here as a name and rating as a tag as well. We're still going to change the color again to put into the really dark gray. I'm going to choose the content control cannot be deleted, and then you're going to select choose an item, remove it, and now we're going to add our own selections. So what we want to do is have different rating choices. Finally, for the comments and recommendations for improvement, we are again going to use the plain content control. Because we've entered all of the information for the survey section of the document, what we're going to do is change a little bit the formatting. Because previously, or as if you have the document in front of you, your instruction for each cell are right now in black. But what we want is for them to be a little bit more bold and a little bit more different from the cell titles. And what we're going to do is only change the color. To change the color, just going to select one. And here, go into font color, click the arrow, and you're going to put this one, light green background to darker 75% to all of them. Here is what the form looks like once we've entered it. Thank you for your time. We wish you to live happily ever after line at the bottom of the form. What we'll now do is add a little heart after we wish you to live happily ever after. To do so, we're going to press down the Alt key as well as pressing down the 3 key. Now what we'll do is get rid of the show hide formatting marks. And voila, here is the finished product of our document. But we have one more step to do, because we don't want people to be able to edit and change around the document. We only want them to be able to fill the survey. We're going to go into the Developer tab and click Restrict Editing. Now we're going to use the editing restriction. Allow only this type of editing. You're going to click the arrow and we're going to use the filling form. Then you click Yes, start enforcing protection. We're not going to enter any password because it's not needed for now. There we go. Our form is now protected. What we'll have to do now is save it again. Now that I've told you in a great deal of details how to use Word to create an online survey, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how I perceive the theory of Word versus the reality of working as a wedding planner, for instance. So for me, I believe that for a startup, it will be a great idea to use Word to create a template and a survey to send to your customers in order to receive their feedback. But also, it's not the easiest way nor the more professional way, as once you receive all of the information, you'll still have to gather them yourself and make the analysis yourself. And I think that this, for a startup business or even for a business that has a lot more customers and a lot more profit, it's not really the more professional way to do so. There's a lot of other free programs out there that can do the same job as Word in a maybe more professional manner, and they can also provide you with already great tools for analysis of the data that you're going to receive. And also it's a little bit more customer friendly, I believe. In fact, we are now on the SurveyMonkey website. I just wanted to show you a little bit more about what you can offer so you can see really what's the difference between this service and Word. Here is another part of the website that I really thought was interesting for SurveyMonkey, is that you can have a customer satisfaction survey template. So basically that was what we were trying to do with our Word document. Another program that I think is interesting to look at is Google Form. For those that are a little less about technology and sometimes it's harder to manipulate those sort of things, Google Form might be the option for you instead of using Word if you want it to be more customer friendly. And what I think is also really interesting with Google Form is that you can also analyze the responses with automatic summaries. So Google Form helps you out to figure your data and make your recommendations so you can have your feedback and the information from the feedback all in the same place instead of having to collect the Word documents and then looking through them yourself. It's a lot of time, and when you're a startup or even a big corporation, you don't necessarily have that time and all the time you can save and all the money you can save, because if you have less people working on this, then you're also saving money. So it's not only good to use a free service, but you also have to think about the labor hour and labor costs that are going to go into it. So if you don't have a lot of labor to work on to gathering all the data and making your analysis for you because you have Google Form or SurveyMonkey, then I believe that it's really easier for you to make your business grow and reach your higher potential. This is what concludes today's video. I really want to thank you for watching, and I hope that the information I gave you was useful for you. I do believe that Word is really interesting and very useful in everyday life and maybe in other jobs, but I think that for a company in event planning or wedding planning that really wants to set itself apart from the competition, I think it's better to use more professional looking one and to maybe focus your energy into something else instead of gathering data. So this was my really big concern about how the theory can apply to reality. But I really think that Word is useful and that you can really play around with it, and it's really nice, and you can customize it to your needs and whatever you prefer. Again, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video.